What if I told you the end of Life is Strange could have been completely different than what we received in the final product? There's an array of content that was cut from the game due to budget cuts and deadlines, creating many theories in the fandom for what could have been. The one theory that I find to be the most mysterious and most intriguing out of the bunch is a theory that the Prescotts became intertwined with an unknown Native American tribe and were involved with, or at least knew about, the storm coming to wipe out Arcadia Bay. Before we begin, I just want to say thank you for the support on the last video. It means so much to me. Also, I've been sick, so I'm sorry for how my voice sounds in this video. But if you like this theory as much as me, leave a like and subscribe for more Life is Strange content. Anyways, let's start out with what we know to be factual. We know that outside the dormitories on Blackwell rests the Tobanga totem. The Tobanga is a leftover relic from an unidentified Native American community that once owned the land. For years, it's been gazed upon the students and faculty who have little to no information on its origins. There are only a handful of interactions we have with the totem, and here are those interactions.
Warren told me that totem is named Tobanga for a reason nobody knows. The Tobanga does look pretty scary at night. Please don't destroy me. I don't think the Tobanga will ever give up any secrets to us. What do you think about all those dying birds?
Samuel had to bury dozens near the Tobanga.
Is that cool with the Tobanga?
We'll find out if the souls of the bird move on. Not that we can prove it.
It's so ominous.
Unless it's fate, then it doesn't matter.
I wonder if the Tobanga knows more than anybody here.
Oh, Max, nobody even knows who brought the Tobanga here. It was likely stolen from the South Pacific by local fishermen. But I know what you're saying. There's a lot of energy here.
Despite controversy, no tribe has claimed ownership of the Tobanga.
Nathan Prescott already tried.
Too bad you didn't become friends with the Tobanga.
In episode 3, when we are exploring Principal Wells' office, we see an incident report list revealing that Nathan attempted to steal the Tobanga. Why would he do that? Why would he attempt to steal something so obscure? This helps prove that he knew more about the Tobanga and its history than most other characters in the game. We know from the trailer for Chapter 4 that Nathan initially yells out,
"The storm is coming! You're all gonna die!"
Clearly, it was originally planned to be revealed that Nathan knew the storm was coming. This was unfortunately cut from the game, but this does add more evidence to the theory about the Prescotts, or at least Nathan, having some connection to the spiritual tribe. Before we go farther, let's go over the Prescott family and their history. The Prescotts are the oldest family in Arcadia Bay. They are very wealthy and own most of the town. They heavily fund Blackwell, which is why Nathan's record is kept clean of his devious acts that he has committed. The known family members include Sean Prescott, Nathan's father, Caroline Prescott, whose name wasn't revealed until episode 1 and Before the Storm, and she's also the mother of Nathan and Christine Prescott, Harry Aaron Prescott, who was presumably Nathan's deceased grandfather, and Martin Lewis Prescott, who is presumed to be Nathan's deceased great-grandfather. It's clear in the game that Nathan's relationship with his father is toxic. While exploring Nathan's room, we come across this email from his father, and it reads, "Nate, I know this has been a stressful week and your mother and I are here to talk if need be. Just make an appointment anytime. Your mother wants Dr. Bill to come out after his book tour, but for now, let's stick to your prescriptions. I need you calm and quiet while Pan Estates is being developed. I know being a Prescott is a burden, but I'll guide you into the room step by step as my father did. It was hard for me when my dad opened my eyes to our destiny, but you'll thank me someday. Don't worry about Blackwell. This shithole town is going to get an enema along with a fresh brand. I want you to be ready to take over when the moment is right." And in this email from Christine, it stated that she also had issues with Sean, which led her to move halfway across the world. And she also mentions in the email that he often references his obsession with fulfilling the family's legacy. We know Nathan Prescott had a bunker built under the old barn that has been in the family for over 100 years, which eventually Jefferson manipulated Nathan into getting his father Sean to fund turning it into the dark room without Sean knowing the real reason for its use. The Pan Estates is a housing development by the Prescotts that is being built on tribal ground, which we can see flyers for in the Two Wheels Diner and in David's stuff. The title, Pan Estates, is likely a reference to the Greek god Pan, whose home was the wilderness in the Greek utopia called Arcadia. Pan was the god of nature and the wild. Arcadia Bay is based on Tillamook Bay, Oregon, and Tillamook is the name of the Native American tribe that used to live there. Their legends tell the story of the Thunderbird and the whale. In the story, it is said that the Thunderbird and the whale fought incredibly, which initiated a storm-like tragedy on the town. The Thunderbird is commonly seen as the hero. Many whales became beached in Tillamook, and the tribe made use of it for food. Other than whale blubber, their main source of food was salmon, which was caught between April and October. Rachel went missing in April, and the events of Life is Strange occur in October. It's also important to point out the fact that spirit animals also play a hidden role in the Life is Strange universe. Rachel's is obviously being the doe. The whale, however, is assumed to be Nathan's spirit animal due to him having a radio that plays whale sounds in his room. Now, let's go over what Life is Strange almost was. In another reality, where Don't Nod didn't cut anything out and they fully released the 8 episodes that they originally planned on, here is what I gathered. Nathan is perceived as a snobby rich kid who gets what he wants without any consequences and has unsuccessfully treated mental struggles. When he lashes out, it's seemingly stemming from the pressure put on him to live up to the family name, which is true, but what if it's more than that? What if he's communicating with a spiritual being and is being told what to do? That would explain the heavy drug use. Being in the position of communicating with a higher power would be a lot for someone to take on. Maybe that's why Nathan is trying to steal the totem. Maybe he became so overwhelmed with having these callings from the supreme power that he tried to get rid of them. And the only way he could think of doing so was to get rid of the Tobanga. Or maybe he just wanted to steal the Tobanga to protect himself from the storm. Clearly he knew it was coming and thought it was the only way of saving himself. I can't really see him wanting to save the rest of his family. Other than his sister, it seems he doesn't have a good relationship with any of them. Also, it's important to note how Samuel seems like he also knows more than he's letting on. He's very spiritual, and also his reasonings for these events taking place are very open-ended and ominous. Miss Grant mentions the Tobanga a few times as well, but Samuel specifically acts as if he knows what's going on. He even jokes about Max and time travel. It might just be a coincidence, but still. Also, maybe that's why Nathan was threatening Samuel. Maybe it had to do with the higher power, or maybe Samuel caught Nathan trying to steal the Tobanga, which led to him threatening Samuel. We don't know the origin of Max's powers, but what if it was given to her from the spiritual being? What if the higher being chose Max to see if she would do the right thing with such power? Now, I believe a storm was bound to happen regardless of what Max did. Maybe the storm is supposed to be the wrath of Tobanga and its tribe from the Prescotts building real estate on the tribal ground. What if it's not only communicating with Nathan, but Sean too? It's clear both Sean and Nathan hate Arcadia Bay. In Sean's email to Nathan, he mentions Arcadia Bay will soon get an enema with a fresh brand. Maybe Sean's behind the storm. With the Prescotts being the oldest family in Arcadia Bay, it's safe to assume they would already have more knowledge on its past history than most. Maybe the Prescotts have past relatives from the tribe that used to house in Arcadia Bay. That would explain why they would have so much power in the palm of their hands. Sean being behind the storm is more perceivable when you put in the fact that he had a bunker built. If he was going to cause a storm to wipe out the town, he would want to keep his family safe to fulfill their destiny. Prescott's destiny is mentioned in Sean's email, but they never really explained what their destiny was. It's really interesting to think about what it could have been. It's also been theorized that the storm is the wrath of Rachel. It's been hinted at, but not outright said, that she had the ability to control nature. That also aligns to how she disappeared in April, but was found in October, as if she waited before sending the storm, which correlates to the time in Tillamook between April and October for salmon season. I'm not sure how that can be tied to Rachel's disappearance between those months, however. Maybe she's the reason to Max getting the time travel from the Tobanga, and so she could help Chloe find her and get closure. I think that the Native American and spiritual references in the game were more than just a red herring, at least originally planned for the game. I believe had we gotten the fully fledged out 8 episodes Don't Nod intended on, that we would have gotten so much more information on the Tobanga and its origins. I honestly believe that the Tobanga and its spiritual power was going to play such a bigger role that was going to be revealed towards the end of the game. All the symbolisms and the references in the game, and even the cut line from Nathan knowing about the storm, also how ominous Samuel is and seemingly knowing more about what's going on than he says. This all proves to me that somehow, some way, the Prescotts were behind the storm and that we were nowhere close to getting its full story significance to the events that took place in the game. It's all just a forgotten story that we may never get to experience. The only way I see it even somewhat coming to fruition is in Double Exposure. Maybe it's revealed that the Prescotts outlived Jefferson and the storm and they're coming after Max. Realistically, I don't think that would be the case since Double Exposure is being developed by Deck 9 and Don't Nod had the original story that was cut from the game, but only time will tell. I've always found the theory of the Tobanga so fascinating and wanted to create my own hodgepodge of concepts and theories supporting it. There are endless ways this could have came about in the game. Let me know what you guys think and if you have any more theories that support this. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in Double Exposure.
Whale songs? Maybe this is the only soothing thing Nathan ever hears.